I have not done, but maybe one Trump story. And I think it might have been like something having to do with the Twitter files. And when, it was about like the censoring and deplatforming of Trump. I haven't really covered like anything that he's done or that's happened to him. And I don't talk electoral politics, and this is not about electoral politics. This is about another story. This is about shit libs melting down. And so I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this right now. And I'm going to put up a screenshot or a video, and I'm not going to play it because I think people played Bill Maher, but fuck Bill Maher. But more importantly, Johnny MAGA, who I would never normally quote because we're in a fucking bizarro world right now. Bill Maher and panel were left baffled last night after Truth Social went public. This guy is the luckiest in the world. He always lucks out on everything. Now we're probably not going to see any of the trials. Teflon Don stays winning. And I love seeing that only because the words Teflon Don played into where I was going tonight. The thumbnail and the segment is called Teflon Donald because all the shit libs have been freaking out about he can't make bond. He's going to have to sell all his properties. Letitia James is going to start seizing his properties. Oh my God, it's going to be humiliating. They are going to absolutely melt the fuck down when they find this one out, which is Trump's Truth Social wins the okay to go public, and Trump's stake is worth more than $3 billion. So he's got enough money to take care of all of those financial civil judgments like the E. Jean Carroll and this other one where he's got to put up a massive bond. So cue the incoming meltdown.
It looped.
Okay, that's one of my favorites right there. And of course, this one's legendary. They're all just legendary meltdowns. So what's going on here? What's going on here, people?
Who are these people?
Well,
fake news.
Well, no, this is not fake news because this is real news. Trump's Truth Social is going public, according to Wired magazine. All right. So what's going on? The right-wing social now remember, this is Wired magazine, so it's a little shit libby and it's mainstream corporate. But I kind of like Wired because they at least take it from a tech perspective. So, former President Donald Trump's Truth Social. So this is talking about platforms and censorship. And by the way, did you know that Truth Social is a Mastodon instance? It's open source.
Yes.
We scream about everybody who should be using open source stuff. That's what these guys are using. So Truth Social, a shameless Twitter clone, as is Mastodon, is set to become a publicly traded company as soon as next week. Shareholders of Digital World Acquisition Corp, keep that name in mind, voted on Friday to merge with Trump Media and Technology Group, which is the company behind Truth Social. The vote is a culmination of a years-long saga attempted to merge Trump Media with a publicly traded company in what's known as an SPAC deal. The company will trade under the ticker DJT once it goes public. And you know this egomaniac motherfucker, all he's ever wanted was to see Donald J. Trump trade his own name on the fucking stock exchange. And now he gonna get to do it. The shit libs are gonna lose their minds. Oh my God. Right? On Rumble, more than 2,000 people watched a man dressed in a Jack Sparrow costume narrate the shareholder meeting in a live stream. After the vote passed, the chat erupted. "Thank you, Jesus," read one comment from an account called Can Am Patriot.
Help me, Jewish God! Help me, Allah!
Yeah. Read one comment from an account called Can Am Patriot 17. The vote could grant Trump a substantial windfall of almost $3.5 billion in shares of the company, of which he owns about 60%. Digital World Acquisition's stock price jumped about 4% following news of the vote. It sits at about $41 a share. By the way, 2 years ago, when they first talked about this stuff, Digital World Acquisition Corp was twice as valuable. We'll look into the financial stuff at another time. This is possible. This possible fortune couldn't come at a better time for the former president. As we know, Trump is struggling to put up cash to cover the $454 million judgment against him that the state of New York claims is part of a civil fraud case. Of course, we know that Trump also owes $83 million to E. Jean Carroll, a result of a January judgment in a defamation lawsuit regarding a previous jury's findings that Trump sexually abused her in a Bergdorf Goodman, blah, 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 blah.
All of his stakes are now worth $4 billion.
Well, now apparently E. Jean Carroll, $1
billion of them.
Except E. Jean Carroll still is threatening to sue him multiple times because she claims he's continuing to defame her, and while he continues to do that, she will continue to sue him for defamation. I never met her. I never did this. He denies all of it. As part of his agreement with the company, he must wait around 6 months before selling any shares, right? But he claimed on Truth Social that he now has nearly $500 million already in cash because his supporters line up to throw money at him. Yep. Truth Social looks nearly identical to Twitter. Okay, this is where Wired gets a little shit-libby with some key distinctions. Instead of tweeting, a user's post a truth. A retweet is called a retruth, unlike many right-wing Twitter clones. And this is the one that I know really made the people at Wired fucking hurt. The site functions well and has remained mostly online and appears to actually have somewhat of an active user base. But since launching in February 2022, after Trump was kicked off mainstream platforms for inciting violence during the January 6th riot at the Capitol, even though he never did, Ray Epps might have, others might have, but I don't remember Trump ever doing that to the letter, and they have been trying to indict him and get him in trouble for that. They can't seem to get him nailed on it. But ever since then, the company's been mired in controversy because the corporate media won't leave him alone. The site is exactly what one might expect from a Trump-inspired social network. Groups dedicated to QAnon, election deniers, and other conspiracies are easy to find. Again, like I said, this is Wired, so it's shit-libby. And in October 22, Will Wilkerson, one of Trump Media's senior employees, filed a whistleblower complaint with the Securities and Exchange Commission, claiming that the company had made fraudulent representations in violation of SEC laws, of federal securities laws. Go figure. Trump made fraudulent representations? Yep. Never. Wilkerson, of course, was then fired shortly after filing the complaint because whistleblowers don't ever keep their jobs. The SEC eventually approved the merger proposal in February. Right? So his media co-founders, Andy Litinsky and Wes Moss, sued Trump Media in February, claiming that the company devised a scheme to dilute their shares. Okay, that, by the way, is exactly what happened to Eduardo Saverin in the Facebook deal. I don't know if you remember the movie The Social Network. All right. But when the Justin Timberlake character for not Peter Thiel, the one that Justin Timberlake plays, Sean Parker, gets involved and he gets Peter Thiel involved, what they end up doing is diluting out Eduardo's shares, which he signed off on because his lawyer didn't really look at some kind of fine print. That's basically what they just did to these two. Two men who are both former apprentice contestants, so they're idiots, and shareholders in the company, said the company needed to abide by a 2021 agreement that granted them the ability to appoint directors to the company's board and other financial incentives. Now, the company, of course, has become a meme stock where its performance seems tied more to Trump's political prospects than the actual financial performance of the company. The price of the stock could change dramatically before he has a chance to cash out, or after he cashes out. It may flop completely if he cashes out and then goes back to Twitter, for example.
Yep. It's a little pump and dump.
Weird. Dave Burt is saying that, yeah, a little pump and dump is right. Now, the only other thing that I want to say about this, and I got this one from Indie Media Award honoree Common Dreams. Now, we know that they're a little shit libby, and that they definitely have a case of TDS still. So their copium says, well, at least the $3 billion from the Truth Social merger is unlikely to fix his money trouble, because he's still facing potential asset seizure if he can't post a bond for the New York fraud case. Yes, but now that he's got this asset, I'm guessing that somebody will issue him a bond against it. Or Digital World Acquisition Corp shareholders on Friday approved a merger involving former U.S. President Trump's social networking platform, but a multi-billion-dollar windfall isn't expected to help him with the $454 million bond he needs to post for a New York fraud case by Monday, by tomorrow. His deal with the SPAC was announced back in 2021. It finally got approved from the SEC last month, and thanks to the merger, Trump Media and Technology, whose primary product is Truth Social, could be trading on the stock market under the symbol DJT next week. Digital World had a $42.81 closing stock price. Like I said, it was around $40 a share on Thursday, and Trump is set to own nearly 79 million shares, which works out to over $3 billion.
Yeah, which is wild.
All right. However, a Wall Street provision known as a lockup agreement will block him, the presumptive presidential candidate for the November election, from swiftly ditching that stock to cover his mounting legal costs. But you can guarantee that he will actually put that up as collateral. He doesn't need to necessarily put that up for a bank.
He doesn't need to do all of it.
No, but for a bank or fund, well, he needs to put 10% down in cash or have somebody finance a bond for the full 454. That's one thing or the other, or they start liquidating properties. All right, and that's but they're doing copium.
So if anyone who's friends with Trump and wanted a giant social media platform that appeals to right wingers and, political dissidents, cough Peter Thiel, cough.
No, he doesn't. It's not even him. It's a guy named Jeff Yass, YASS, who is also the single largest American shareholder of TikTok. Interesting.
Sure, but either one of them, like, he puts up collateral as that, they give him the money.
Correct.
Like, yeah.
As the AP detailed before the merger vote, quote, investors under the lockup deal cannot sell, lend, donate, or encumber their shares, so they can't lend them or encumber them for 6 months after the close of the deal. Legal experts say that encumber
him from using it as collateral
is a powerful word that could prevent him from using it as collateral to raise cash. Could. You think he ain't gonna fucking try it?
Sure.
There are a few exceptions, such as transferring it. Wait, here it is. Transferring it to immediate family members. You mean like Ivanka or Don Jr.?
Or, yeah.
But in such cases, the recipient, except that the recipients would also have to abide by that lockup agreement.
Okay.
Experts warn that Trump selling a bunch of his Truth Social shares after the 6-month mark could also prove problematic because it could tank the stock because he's simply trading on his name. People aren't buying this because they like the fundamentals. They're buying this because they like him. Yeah. They don't have any earnings. We don't know what they have. As a result of the civil fraud case launched by Letitia James in New York, Trump and his real estate company were hit with $355 million in fines last month, and his adult sons owe $4 million each. And longtime executive Alan Weisselberg, who testified against Trump, by the way, was fined $1 million. He's worth a lot more than $1 million. With interest, it hurts. Still, that $1 million hurts, but he's worth a lot more than that. With interest, the former president owes $454 million and his sons owe $10 million. James gave him until the 25th of March to pay up. Attorneys for Trump who's appealing, said Monday in a filing that it has been a practical impossibility for him to secure a bond. That was before this merger approval, though. The Attorney General is preparing to seize Trump's assets. Trump proceeds from the Truth Social merger could be a ripe target for James to go after, Market Watch noted Thursday. Financial attorney Mark Zotterer told the outlet that bank accounts and debts owed, including the proceeds of a company sale, are far more simple to freeze than, say, Trump's stake in an LLC that owns a building. Now, as of Friday, Forbes estimated that Trump's net worth at $2.6 billion, much of which is tied up in real estate. Now that's going to more than double. The amazing part is that Truth Social was worth zero 3 years ago. The Democrats handed him this thing by getting him censored and deplatformed. Earlier this month, the New York Times analysis found that he has about $350 million in cash in total, but he said he's not going to part with any of that. He claimed on Truth Social that he had almost $500 million in cash. On top of the fraud line, of course, the New York City jury, we don't want to talk about E. Jean Carroll because Tara's upset with E. Jean Carroll. I don't know. And all the hypocrisy about the shitlibs that love E. Jean Carroll but don't want to mention Tara's name whatsoever.
Yeah, well, and the fact that E. Jean Carroll knew about Tara, agreed with her, and then is now getting a ton of fucking money over this Trump thing and giving it to Biden.
Mm-hmm.
This is what she said. And Tara's rightfully pissed off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that piss-offery. So
Trump is also appealing that decision, but he was able to post a $91.6 million bond provided by an insurance company in early March. Chubb. Didn't we talk about
Liberty
Chubb?
Mutual.
No, it was Chubb.
Was it?
Yep.
It could be Liberty Mutual if I want it to be.
Chubb underwrote it.
You know, like
Trump also
neighbor,
is facing.
State Farm is there.
Trump is also facing a pair of federal criminal cases, one for his handling of classified documents, which is going, of course, not to be addressed, and another related to his attempt to overturn his 2020 loss to Joe Biden, who's seeking re-election, and we know nothing's going to happen there either. He's also been indicted in a criminal election interference case in Georgia and a hush money case in New York. Are you talking about Stormy Daniels? Yeah, they are. And they're talking about Fannie Willis, which I think also was thrown out. He was indicted, but not convicted. So Teflon Don, if there ever was one. My goodness. John Gotti, you did not really earn the name nearly as much as Donald J. Trump. My goodness.
Don't be rude.
Now, he's still going to have to lay out a whole lot of money, but was it really his money in the first place? Not really. He's living the high life and he's having a good old time no matter what. So, does he really give a crap? I guess he wants to be president, and will he figure out a way to make all this go away if he wins? And this is what the shitlibs and Democrats are melting down, about as part of it. This is why he'll make it the last election ever, so he doesn't. Whoa, you just really pixelated hard. So he doesn't have to. Yeah. Look, this guy, he tried to pull a lot of shit, but there still is a legal system. There still is frameworks in place. They claim he's going to disband all of that even worse. Okay. I don't buy it. I can't buy it. I know he was bad. He was real bad. Joe Biden's been just as bad, if not worse, in just about every way. Student debt's about the only way I can say that he hasn't been. And then potential in some ways with labor. Yeah, I know about the rail workers, but he did put what's her name in charge of the antitrust division, and there is an NLRB that has done some things, not the greatest, but they've done something. So, yes, that's right. Trump has to argue against stupid shitlib non-crimes. That's correct. Mastermind's talking about rubble of Palestinians DNA in the rubble of the pier that's being built. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real damn shame how this crime can't be stopped, even though we see it happening. Yeah, it's crazy. All crimes are happening all over the place. Look, this guy too. We don't have, yes, Lena Khan. That's right. Emoji. Thank you. Lena Khan is the head of the antitrust division. And in the SEC, and you know, which is interesting because, you know, Biden never met really a credit card company or a donor that he didn't want to service. He would get on his knees for any of them.
That's the only way you can find room to pay for it.
And then he'd sniff their hair. Yes, that's correct. Yes. So, that's awesome. Kameshwari Kate, you got to hang out with Shanda. That's beautiful. So happy for you. We love
Mastermind there too.
We love Shanda. Mastermind. Awesome. Mastermind was live earlier. Go check him out on RBN Long Beach channel. He's been doing that show with Charlie Brown Politics. People seem to like that one.
Why is there no short beach? There's a long beach, but there's no short beach? Why? There's no short king beach? Where do all my short kings go? Huh? Explain this to me.
Yeah. Dave Burt's over on Rockfin. What's up, Dave Burt? Good to see you, sir. Appreciate you. By the way, I made you a mod over on, I think it's INN. He's either on my channel or INN. One of them you're now a mod, but you got mod privileges. Yes, hit the like. Oh yeah, thank you. Bad cookies. One more time, support INN, support independent media. We do this, we pay out of our own pocket, and we are user supported. So you can subscribe to a monthly. Whatever. That's right. Whatever. Patreon.com/Indie News Network. IndieNewsNetwork.substack.com. That's an easy monthly subscription, and you can get a lot of good stuff over there. Rumble.com/C/Indie News Network, and the Cash App, $, Indie News Network. That's INDIE News Network.